Now let's solve a kind of a real-life coding problem with our CoffeeScript. So we're going to go to Project Euler and we're going to do this first problem in Project Euler, which is a bit mathy, but it'll work for us. If we list all the natural numbers below 10, so those are just your counting numbers, that are multiples of 3 or 5, we get 3, 5, 6, and 9. So multiples of 3 would be like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. Multiples of 5 would be 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. Here they just listed the ones below 10, so we just get 3, 5, 6, and 9. 10 doesn't count as a multiple of 5 in this case because it has to be below 10. If it was 11 here, then we would add 10 to this. So the sum of these multiples is 23. When we add these four numbers together, we get 23. Find the sum of all multiples of 3 or 5 below 1,000 is the goal. So let's get over here and let's see what we can put together. We got our main function. And we can say something like, we want to get a list of an array of numbers, so we'll just say nums equals, and we want a for loop here. We're going to say we want to return a num for num in the range 1 to, it said below 1,000, I believe, below 1,000. So in 1 to 999, because we don't want to include 1,000 or it'll throw off our answer. When, and when is the filter, remember, so we want to filter out where the number is a multiple of 3 or 5 only. We want to get only multiples of 3 or 5. So when num modulo 3, we can say double equals 0, or in my case is 0, or num modulo 5 is 0. So for example, like 10 modulo 5, the modulo is checking for like a remainder. And in this case, if we divide 10 by 5, we get 2. Well, basically, we just keep subtracting 5 from 10. And if there's anything left, it's not 0. So for example, 11 modulo 5, we subtract 5, we get 6. We subtract 5 more, we get 1. The remainder is 1. So 11 modulo 5 would be 1, which isn't 0. But in our case, num modulo 5, so 10 modulo 5, 10 minus 5 is 5, minus 5 is 0. We know 10 is a multiple of 5. Let's say 20. 20 minus 5 is 15, minus 5 is 10, minus 5 is 5, minus 5 is 0. So 20 is a multiple of 5, and that's what we're checking here, when multiple of 3 or multiple of 5. And we're going to return each number that is one of those types of multiples. So let's just log that list and make sure that we're getting what we think we're getting. Save it. Run it. You see we get our list here. Looks good. 3, 5, 6, 10. 3, 5, 6, 9 is a multiple of 3. 10 is 5, etc. And we can check down here just to some spot checks to check. 165, anything that ends in 5 or 0 is a multiple of 5. We're good. If we add up the digits of any of the other numbers that aren't a multiple of 5, they should be divisible by 3. So 7, 8, 9. 171 is divisible by 3. 177, 7, 7 is 14. 1 is 15. 15 divided by 3. Modulo 3 can get me to 0, so that'll work. One more example would be this. 1, 4, and 7 is 12. I can divide that by 3 and get to 0, or modulo it and get to 0. So we know this list is right. You can see there's a bunch more down here that we can't see. That's fine, don't need to see them. Now what we want to do is take our list of numbers that we have stored in here, and I think, let's see, find the sum of all multiples. So now we need to add this entire list of things together to get our total. So let's do something like, this might not be the most efficient way, but it definitely works. Total equals 0, and then we can say, thinking, let's do parentheses, don't know if we need them or not here. Total plus equals num, and for, so this is our for loop, for num in, that's going to be confusing if we say it that way. Let's not use num so much. For val, total plus equals the value for val in nums, like this. So we have our list here of nums, which we're using here in our for loop, and we're saying for each number in this list, add it to the total. So our total starts as 0, then we add 3, so our total is now 3. Then we add 5, our total is 8, and we do that the whole way down until we get the final value. So we can save that. Let's make one more line, and we want to console.log the total, And this should be our answer to this Project Euler problem. So let's clear it, run it, and you can see we get 233,168 is the sum of all multiples of 3 and 5 below 1,000. And I double checked that number, that is correct. So we're going to do one more CoffeeScript problem.